Many, many moons ago, I was, I guess, one of those people that rang Nutrimedics to look for a pot of Nutri-Rich oil. And that, was 35 years ago. And I was told, as it still is, that you would need to be put in touch with somebody. Hence, I moved into Louise Buchner's world. And I still bought that pot of Nutri-Rich oil and many other things for my daughter, who at that stage of life was a really bad eczema sufferer. And yes, we now use lots and lots of the products, and consequently, after a few years, I decided to have a dabble with Nutrimedics as potentially an income source. And here I am. Why did I have a go at Nutrimedics as a career path? For me, I like change, and I love that every day doing Nutrimedics as a career. I'm an executive sales manager with Nutrimedics. As a career, one day is never the same as the next, and I have the concentration span of an ant. So I love that I get to do whatever I want to do, however I want to do it. So having a go at it as a job or as a career path, I just went boots and all and managed to achieve a company car within about 6 or 7 months, and still drive a free car every day, and lots of other perks and lurks that have come with it. So I love it. I would say for me, one of the top 3 things I've gotten out of 20 plus years of being part of Nutrimedics as a manager, number 1 would be confidence and believing in myself and believing that things can happen, because that wasn't always my life. Some pretty ordinary things happened in the earlier stages of my 20s and my, into my early 30s, I suppose. And I now have a daughter who's also very strong-minded and sure of herself. And that's because she's rubbed shoulders with it for 20 plus years. And really, it teaches you to believe in yourself and to believe that there is more out there for everyone if we want it. Being a single mum and deciding after a couple of years of just being what we call a home shopper and buying things at my leisure, being and deciding to do this as a job, I guess for me, I found my hot button, and my hot button was to travel. And I think I'd only been overseas once pre-Nutrimedics. I've been probably overseas 25 or more times to some amazing destinations. A car that I don't pay for at all, other than to put petrol in it. And just find that hot button, find what it is for you. Is it making a bit more money? Is it feeling more independent? Is it being able to give your children more than you could ever imagine you'd be able to? That was certainly a biggie for me, taking my daughter Christmas shopping, and not being able to, not cringing inside because I couldn't give her what she might have just looked at. And I don't mean going over the top, but, being a single mum with one income and having to pay a car and all of those things that now I don't. I mean, I've bought 2 investment properties in the time that I've done Nutrimedics as a job. And I know without a word of a lie, there's no way I would have managed that without that money that came from doing Nutrimedics. Do I do work? Absolutely, but who doesn't? We all go to a job. I just don't. I sit in my own home and do my own hours, in opposed to someone who has to sit in the traffic, maybe not like what you do, and then sit in the traffic to go home and then deal with children that you want to give all your attention to, but you're exhausted. I think a lot of people get put off about something like Nutrimedics. Firstly, because for a lot of people, what you do and how you do it and how you get started is not really out there until you actually meet someone who will say to you, hey, come sit with me, I'll show you how this is done. I mean, we've been around for 55 plus years. We have incredible products. And I just think sometimes people need to take a little leap of faith and have a go. What is I used to say to myself, what is the worst thing that can happen? I'll have a cupboard full of product and stock that eventually I'll use through my own home, shampoos and washing liquids and whatever it might have been. But if you don't go, you never know. And you could still be stuck at that job that you really don't love. And look, time is short. Like for me, doing Nutrimedics for 21 plus years has gone in the blink of an eyelid. And for a lot of people that are in their 60s, you're then starting to look at retirement. I have no intention to retire because I don't really work as hard as I do what works for me. However, I know that I still make great income, to allow me to travel. I love to travel. So, yeah,